Tonight on Ctv3 News, Orange Walk police investigate the tragic death of 14-year-old from the community of Shipyard after workplace accident. Tragedy strikes Belize police as Officer Ozzie Young is ambushed and killed while preparing for duty in Unitedville. And Belize City woman and ex-boyfriend die in suspected murder-suicide following domestic abuse. These are some of the stories we have for you tonight in our newscast for Tuesday, October 14th, 2025.
Looking for quality, tasty, and easy to prepare meals? Look no farther. M&M Frozen Foods, proudly distributed by United Distributors Limited, brings you a wide range of delicious frozen delights, perfect for every occasion. From frozen pizzas, quesadillas, garlic bread, jumbo samosa, cocktail samosas, pizza pockets, spring rolls, and hack noodles. M&M Frozen Foods is fresh, flavorful, and convenient for busy lifestyles. Whether you're planning a quick dinner, hosting a gathering, or stocking up for the week, M&M Frozen Foods has you covered. Available now at leading supermarkets and stores nationwide through United Distributors Limited. M&M Frozen Foods, extensive variety to satisfy every craving.
Attention farmers, the New World screwworm is a serious threat to livestock, pets, wildlife, and humans. It causes yield losses, damages the quality of meat and skins, and can even kill them if left untreated. Check your animals daily. If you see any wounds on them, treat them immediately. Prevention is key. Apply approved healing and fly repellents to the navel of newborn animals after dehorning, ear tagging, or any other practice that leaves wounds on your animals to ensure your animals' well-being. If you notice worms in unusual wounds, report them immediately. Call Baja at 824-4872 or text or WhatsApp 670-7003 or call your nearest Ministry of Agriculture office. And don't forget, never transport or receive animals with injuries. Together, we will prevent the spread of this dangerous disease. This message was brought to you by Baja, OIRSA, AICA, USDA, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security, and Enterprise.
We are the Public Utilities Commission. Since 1999, we have regulated Belize's electricity, water, and telecommunication sectors, ensuring quality services at reasonable rates for consumers. A lot has changed since our establishment in 1999, and so have we. To reflect our evolution and future-focused vision, we are proud to introduce our new identity, where the blend of colors show our balanced and inclusive approach to regulation, where innovation, sustainability, and trust are all equally important. Orange represents the telecommunications sector and symbolizes innovation and connectivity. Green reflects the energy sector, sustainability, and national growth. Blue represents the water sector, highlighting trust, stability, and life-sustaining resources. White symbolizes transparency and accountability, core principles of the PUC. We are the Public Utilities Commission, transitioning to a new look, but our core values remain the same: accountability, excellence, integrity, innovation, and professionalism. Our logo is more than a design. It is our visual commitment to continue to serve the people of Belize with transparency, competence, and professionalism. We are the Public Utilities Commission.
For sure, this journey started long before September 1981. Indeed, we're all here because of the courage of our founders, the Maya, Creole, Garifuna, East Indian, Mestizo, and all who are sustained by the spirit and sacrifice of every generation. How beautiful it is that on this day, thousands of our citizens will join with friends and loved ones at parades and parties across this country to rejoice in the blessings of this land and people. As one people, we will work to build a better and brighter future.
Good evening. With your news also simulcast on Fiesta FM 106.7, I am Joanna Rodriguez. Authorities in Orange Walk are investigating the death of a 14-year-old from the community of a shipyard. According to initial reports, the deceased, identified as Heinrich Braun, had reported for work at WJ's doors at approximately 7 Monday morning, where he was assigned to cleaning duties. Around 7:50 a.m., Jacob Peters, a 44-year-old local businessman, recounted that Heinrich was alongside another worker cleaning the premises when a door fell on him, causing visible injuries and bleeding from the mouth and nose. Heinrich was immediately transported to the Northern Regional Hospital, but sadly, he succumbed to his injuries. According to reports, authorities are investigating the circumstances of the incident to determine whether any wrongdoing occurred or if charges may be warranted against the employer.
On Monday, 13 October 2025, at approximately 8:45 a.m., police visited the Northern Regional Hospital, where they observed the unresponsive body of Enrique Braun, 14 years of age, a Belizean of Shipyard Village, Orange Walk District. Initial investigation revealed that Enrique Braun was at WJ's doors, a business establishment in that village, when him and another male person were cleaning some doors, and the doors are reported to have fallen on Enrique, fatally injuring him. Police have processed the scene and a number of statements have been recorded, and the body of Enrique Braun now awaits a post-mortem examination. So that information is something that I believe the Human Services Department will be looking into. However, as it relates to his status of education and the like, however, police's investigation into this matter is focused on the criminal nature, if any, of the incident.
The doctor noted abrasions on both sides of the boy's head. Heinrich Braun's body is currently at the Orange Walk morgue, where a post-mortem examination will be conducted to determine the cause of death. The police department is tonight mourning the loss of one of its own following a fatal shooting in Unitedville Village on Friday night. The shooting incident occurred around 9:40 p.m. as a 42-year-old police constable, Oswald Ozzie Young Sr., was reportedly preparing to head to work when he was ambushed and shot in front of his home. At the time of the incident, Young was dressed in his official police uniform and was en route to report for duty at the Belama police station in Belize City. He was rushed to the hospital but succumbed to a gunshot wound to the head. Investigators say the assailant remains unknown and the motive behind the attack is still under investigation.
On Friday, 10 October 2025 at approximately 9:30 p.m., San Ignacio Police received information of shots being fired in Unitedville, Cayo. Police responded, and upon police response, the body of Oswald Young, a Belizean police officer of Unitedville Village, was observed to be exhibiting gunshot wounds. The investigation so far has revealed that at the aforementioned time, Mr. Young was awaiting transportation to Belize City to come and work at the Belama Precinct 4 police station. It is reported that at that time, an unknown male person approached him and fired several shots, which resulted in his untimely demise.
Constable Young's name had made headlines in the past. In 2014, he was placed on interdiction after being charged with armed robbery and later with drug trafficking. Police records at the time indicated he was allegedly found with nearly 200 grams of cannabis during a raid, while the robbery charge was linked to a 2012 armed holdup at the Toledo Teachers Credit Union. Despite those earlier controversies, news of his killing has shocked both the department and residents of Unitedville. Authorities are exploring whether his past legal troubles could be connected to his murder.
No motive has been ascertained so far as it relates to the death of Mr. Young. Police have been conducting their investigation and efforts are being made to bring the persons who are responsible for this incident to justice. The Belize Police Department similarly would like to express its sincere condolences to the family of Mr. Young. He has been a police officer for the past 23 years, and at the time of his passing, he was working at the Belama police station. It is a loss that the department has taken with great concern, and certainly it is one that the department is interested in conducting an investigation into with the hopes of bringing those persons responsible to justice.
In an official release issued on Saturday, the Ministry of Home Affairs and New Growth Industries condemned the killing, calling it a targeted attack on a member of the Belize Police Department. Minister Karim Musa expressed deep sorrow over the officer's death, saying, "This is devastating loss for our department and for our country." Officer Young was on his way to serve his community when his life was cut short. He was a public servant in uniform, and his murder is an attack on the rule of law itself. We will not rest until the person or persons responsible are found and prosecuted. The ministry also extended condolences to Young's family, friends, and colleagues, and assured the public that every effort is being made to bring those responsible to justice. A Belize City woman and her former boyfriend are dead following what police believe to be a tragic case of murder-suicide on Saturday morning. The incident unfolded just before midday at a two-story home on Simon Lamb Street, where police responded to reports of gunfire. Inside one of the bedrooms, officers discovered the lifeless body of 26-year-old Kira Gentle lying face up on a bed. Nearby, on the floor of the same room, was the body of 27-year-old Harrison Arnold, an auto dealer of Pike Crescent. A licensed black 9mm pistol registered to Arnold was found beside his body. Speaking on the incident today, Assistant Superintendent of Police Stacy Smith told reporters that preliminary information indicates the two were previously in a relationship but had separated prior to the incident. Police say Gentle's mother was alerted to the situation by her 11-year-old son, who told her that his sister and Arnold were having a physical altercation inside the bedroom. When she returned home, she made a devastating discovery and immediately called for help.
On Saturday, 11 October 2025, just before midday, officers attached to the Precinct 3 police station responded to reports of persons being injured at a residence on Simon Lamb Street, Belize City. As a consequence of this report, police officer visited the location where they were led to a room, and upon entering, they observed the unresponsive bodies of Kira Gentle, a 26-year-old Belizean of the said address, and Harrison Arnold, a 27-year-old of Pike Crescent, Belize City. Both bodies exhibited apparent gunshot injury, and a black in color 9mm pistol, which was licensed to Mr. Arnold, was recovered from the scene.
Audio footage shows that they might have been having an argument. Did the police know the nature of that argument?
Police have launched an investigation. The information that has been disclosed so far suggests that the two were in a relationship but had separated at the time of the incident.
They were still living together in the house, or which one of them was living in the house?
The residence is that of Miss Gentle.
Okay, and have they had any previous reports of domestic violence?
There are no reports in police's database in relation to domestic violence pertaining to these individuals.
Investigators are now treating the case as a suspected murder-suicide stemming from a domestic dispute. However, ASP Smith noted that there was no prior police reports of domestic violence involving the couple. The tragic deaths have once again brought attention to the issue of domestic violence in Belize, where police have urged couples in conflict to seek help and counseling before disputes escalate to violence. A 40-year-old man has been formally charged in connection with a tragic traffic incident on the George Price Highway late Thursday night. Osman Pineda faces 2 counts of manslaughter by negligence along with various traffic violations following a devastating crash that resulted in 2 fatalities. According to police reports, Pineda was operating a Ford pickup truck heading towards Belmopan when he reportedly struck the rear wheel of a truck. The impact caused him to lose control of the vehicle, which then collided head-on with a Nissan. The Nissan was carrying 35-year-old Otoniel Vasquez Moreno and 46-year-old Amisadei Valdez Dominguez, both of whom succumbed to their injuries at the scene. In the same incident, Pineda's 2 young children, 5-year-old Shamir and 9-month-old Damaris, were also present in the vehicle. They sustained injuries but are currently receiving medical attention. Mexico's ambassador to Belize, Marta Samaripa, issued a statement expressing her condolences to the families affected by the tragedy. She assured that the Mexican embassy is ready to provide assistance with necessary procedures, including the repatriation of the deceased. The investigation into the crash continues as authorities work to determine the full circumstances surrounding the incident. Coming up next, regional security alert as 2 Barrio 18 leaders escape Guatemalan prison, triggering cross-border manhunt. Stay tuned.
Vacancy. 2 vacancies exist at Sugar City Medical Center.
Nurse full-time. Requirements: ability to manage patients pre- and post-surgery, at least 2 years of experience, and bilingual. Pharmacist full-time. Requirements: experience in a hospital ward setting, at least 1 year of experience, and bilingual. If you are interested in joining our amazing team, send CV, recommendation letter, police record, and current license to sugarcitymedicalcenter@gmail.com. Deadline for applications October 31st, 2025.
Hoy te vamos a contar un cuento basado en una historia real. Chao Dengue. Capítulo 1. Síntomas del dengue. Había una vez una familia que, sin saberlo, llevaba consigo un visitante no deseado. No era un monstruo ni un fantasma, pero sí algo que podía debilitar su cuerpo y robarle la energía. Pronto llegaron la fiebre, acompañada de dolor de cabeza, principalmente detrás de los ojos, dolor de cuerpo, náuseas y un sarpullido que se enrojecía por su piel. ¿Qué debían hacer en ese momento? Lo primero era no caer en la automedicación. En la mente del padre resonaban las palabras de los expertos. La clave está en buscar ayuda temprana. Así que, sin dudarlo, se dirigió a la unidad de salud más cercana, donde le brindaron la atención necesaria. Pero la historia no termina ahí. Si alguien en su familia también enfrentaba la misma situación, era enviado a su hogar con una lista de recomendaciones para ser cuidado allí. El reposo se convertía en su mejor escudo y la hidratación en su arma más poderosa. Abundante líquido y, sobre todo, sales de rehidratación oral serían sus aliados en la recuperación. La familia aprendió que la acción temprana podía marcar la diferencia para que esta historia tenga un final feliz. Y colorín colorado, la salud hay que cuidarla en todos lados.
Designs for Belize's new banknotes have been revealed. But why are only 2 national figures featured on the banknotes? The individuals honored on our new banknotes have received Belize's highest distinction, the Order of the National Hero. As of January 2025, only 2 persons have been awarded this title. The Right Honorable George Cato Price, regarded as the father of the nation, who was the first Prime Minister of Belize and renowned leader in our road to independence, and the Honorable Philip Stanley Wilberforce Golson, one of the longest-serving members of the House of Representatives, known for his unwavering stance on protecting and preserving Belize. By featuring these heroes, we honor their invaluable contributions to the development of our nation. New look, same value, Heroes Legacy. Learn more at www.centralbank.org.bz. A message from the Central Bank of Belize.
Introducing Manna Flour, the heart of every wholesome recipe. Manna Flour brings perfection, taste, and nutrition straight to your kitchen. Available in 2, 3, and 5-pound bags for everyday cooking, and 20, 50, and 100-pound sacks for bakeries, restaurants, and big family events. Whether you're making tortillas, dumplings, or your grandma's secret bread recipe, Manna Flour rises to the occasion. Pure, organic, Caribbean. Make it with Manna. Proudly produced by Caribbean Organic Foodstuff Company Limited.
It's a pleasure really for me to join you here today in an important milestone in Belize's journey towards sustainable transportation, where we officially hand over these three intercity buses to the management contract awardee, the Westline Bus Company.
This project is directly aligned with Belize's raised ambition under its updated nationally determined contribution to the UN and its low emission development strategy. And we are very happy to support these national commitments and ensuring that Belize can meet its targets for climate action and for sustainable development as a whole, while modernizing its transport sector.
I'm happy that Westline was chosen as the first private partner of the government of Belize. We worked very hard in putting this project together. We think that it is about time that the transport industry in Belize improves.
We here, all of us, can share in the vision of one day in Belize very soon, in the next few years. We do not have to be subjected to a mediocre, substandard bus service for our people. One of the messages we'd want to take from here today is that when we work together, when we're not afraid to imagine and see that if we work together, we can turn these things into reality.
Is your internet struggling to reach every corner of your home? Say goodbye to dead zones. Introducing Villo, your ultimate solution for seamless internet coverage. Whether you're streaming, gaming, working from home, or scrolling through social media, Villo delivers a fast, reliable Wi-Fi where you need it most. As a valued Centaur internet customer, you can be one of the first to access Villo free of cost. For more information, call 380-0101.
On Friday, October 10th, 2025, between 6 p.m. to 10:20 p.m., authorities received intelligence about a white truck approaching from Santa Cruz in Orange Walk, suspected of being loaded with contraband. Acting on this information, officers intercepted a white Ford F-150 pickup truck on the U Creek San Antonio Road. The vehicle was found carrying multiple bicycle tires and rims. The driver was questioned about the origin of the goods and asked to provide proof of purchase within Belize. However, he was unable to do so and claimed the items were acquired in Santa Cruz Village. The contents in the vehicle included more than 2,000 bicycle tires in different sizes and some 80 bicycle rims in different sizes. The individual was informed that both he and the goods would be taken to the customs office for further investigation. Regional security forces are on high alert after 20 alleged leaders of the Barrio 18 gang escaped from Guatemala's Frijanzas II maximum security prison over the weekend. Authorities in neighboring Guatemala confirmed that the fugitives are high-ranking members of one of Central America's most violent criminal networks. The escape has triggered cross-border security measures across the region, with Belize, Honduras, and El Salvador tightening border surveillance amid fears the gang members could attempt to flee across the border. Guatemala's Minister of the Interior Forces, Francisco Jimenez, described the incident as a serious national security threat, noting that the escapees were serving time for murder, drug trafficking, and organized extortion. A massive manhunt involving the National Civil Pride, Interpol, and the FBI is underway, with operations concentrated in Petén and Izabal, near Belize's western border. In Belize, the police department has increased patrols and urged the public to remain alert. Assistant Superintendent of Police Stacy Smith said authorities are monitoring the situation closely and maintaining contact with Guatemalan counterparts.
On October 11, 2025, the Belize Police Department was alerted of the escape of 20 high-profile gang members from a maximum security prison in Guatemala. These gang members are known to be a part of the 18th Street Gang, and due to Belize's proximity to that location, it is feared that those persons may make their way into this jurisdiction. Consequently, police officers and the police department have put into place strategic operational efforts to thwart such a eventuality, and the police department urges the members of the general public in those areas that are nearest to the borders to be on alert for these individuals and to report any suspicious movements as soon as possible. These persons are dangerous and are to be considered as such, and consequently we rely on the members of the general public to assist us with information if ever they may come across these individuals.
Residents are reminded not to approach suspicious individuals but instead to call the nearest police station. The Barrio 18 gang, originally formed in Los Angeles, has deep ties across Central America and is infamous for its role in extortion, murder, and drug trafficking. At this time, several of the escapees remain at large and the regional manhunt continues. After nearly a month of intense investigation, police have formally charged one of their own in connection with the brutal killing of twin siblings in Hattieville. On Saturday, October 11th, 25-year-old police constable Irvin Justin Williams, attached to the Special Patrol Unit, was charged with 2 counts of murder for the shooting deaths of 57-year-old twins Paula Belial and Paul Esquiliano. The siblings were gunned down on September 15th in what police have described as a deliberate and targeted attack. What makes the case even more shocking is Williams's connection to one of the victims. He was reportedly Paula's former son-in-law, having been in a relationship with her now deceased daughter. In an unsettling twist, Williams reportedly posted condolences online following the murders, even as investigators began closing in on him as a suspect. Authorities have not yet disclosed a clear motive for the double murder, but investigators say the case remains open as they continue to piece together the circumstances leading up to the deadly shooting.
As a consequence of the ongoing investigation being carried out by the Belize Police Department in relation to the murder of Paula Belial and Paul Escaliano, which occurred on Monday, 15 September 2025 in Hattieville Village. On Saturday, 11 October 2025, police formally arrested and charged Irvin Justin Williams, a 25-year-old Belizean police constable of Mahogany Heights, for 2 counts of murder.
The police, we have received reports that the young man had been stealing money from the woman's credit union account. Is theft part of the motive for why he took their lives?
As stated, it is an ongoing investigation. Though an arrest has been made, the investigation has not concluded. The information that has been ascertained will be placed before the court, so that is the venue for that to be disclosed.
Williams appeared in court today where he was arraigned for 2 counts of murder. The Court of Appeal today commenced hearing an appeal by 56-year-old attorney Oscar Salgado, who was convicted of conspiracy to commit murder in connection with the Marilyn Barnes case. Salgado, sentenced to a decade in prison by Justice Nigel Pilgrim in June 2024, is contesting both his conviction and the length of his sentence. Represented by lawyers Arthur Saldivar and Darrell Bradley, Salgado's defense team urged that the trial was marred by procedural flaws. They pointed to an allegedly incomplete transcript of the proceedings and challenged the admissibility of a critical witness's statement. This witness, Giovanni Ramirez, was the prosecution's primary testimony source but had not testified at the original trial due to fears for his safety. Instead, his statement was admitted under a legal process known as voir dire, which allows hearsay evidence from witnesses who are too afraid to testify in person.
Just that. There were instances where those files could have been recovered. They weren't. Those instances were clear before the presiding judge, but nothing was done to secure those files. In the transcript, it would have shown where the DPP made requests of the person they called Ramirez if he had the phone, to which he replied, yes, he did have the phone. And the phone was never recovered again for those files to be replaced. And then, of course, there is the other video file of him giving his testimony at the police station, which should have always been in the possession of the police, but that was never brought before the court. So the court has no idea what Giovanni Ramirez looks like, has no real idea what he sounds like, other than what is on recordings made personally by the then commissioner and the DPP.
Attorney Saldivar contended that the 10-year-old sentence handed down was disproportionate, especially when compared to a similar case involving Johanna Badi, which resulted in a 6-year term. He emphasized that Salgado had no prior criminal record and criticized the prosecution for failing to provide adequate protection for Ramirez. Additionally, the defense argued that the prosecution did not explore the possibility of virtual testimony, which could have enabled Ramirez to testify safely from a remote location.
The law requires that when a person is not going to appear personally to testify, that they must prove fear. Right? That's one of the conditions that allows them to give that evidence without being present. Well, this person told the DPP after giving a written statement in 2023, June, that he was going to testify. The DPP did not issue a summons to secure his appearance, elected not to. So one cannot say for certain that he was fearful, because if you didn't subpoena him, how can you say he would not have appeared if you did not subpoena him at all? He may have appeared. Then again, you're saying that he is fearful, and he's saying that the reason why he's fearful is because of something that the accused did. But they're accused on bail, high court bail, where the conditions of bail, one of the normal conditions is that the petitioner is not to interfere with any prosecution witness or witnesses. So why wasn't there an application to revoke bail? If you, hearing that as a DPP, believed it so much so that you'll bring it to court, why didn't you seek to revoke Oscar Salgado's bail based on what you were told?
In response, Director of Public Prosecutions Cheryl Lynn Vidal defended the conviction and sentence. She asserted that Ramirez's fear was credible and supported by other witnesses. According to her, Ramirez's statement was pivotal to the case against Salgado, and without it, the prosecution's case would have collapsed. She also dismissed the defense's claims regarding virtual testimony, stating that Ramirez had repeatedly refused to participate in such arrangements due to threats from Salgado that he deemed credible. The appeal hearing continues as both sides represent their arguments, with the court set to determine whether the conviction and sentence will stand or be altered. Minister Luis Sabani, who holds dual responsibilities as the Minister of Transport and the Head of Religious Affairs, recently convened with the Belize Council of Churches to discuss enhancing the relationship between the government and faith-based organizations. This meeting took place on Friday and marks a continuation of a long-standing partnership in the realm of education, but Zabani emphasized the importance of expanding collaboration into broader societal issues. In an interview with the media, Zabani revealed the plans to engage not only with the Belize Council of Churches, but also with evangelical groups and the Muslim community, aiming to identify common ground and shared concerns.
So today we started with the Council of Churches. We will also be meeting with evangelical groups and even the Muslim community, because our mandate is to ensure that we communicate openly and that we try to understand as best as possible the concerns of the communities. By doing that, we have a greater opportunity then to move forward and incorporate as best as is possible the concerns within our policies. And indeed, as Bishop mentioned, there are many opportunities for us to partner on various other areas beyond education, where we have obviously been partnering for decades. In our meeting today, we looked at some of these areas. We are setting out our work plan. We want a clear work plan where we have specific objectives that we want to achieve and that we can measure how close we are, or if we've gone to the point where we could make specific statements about achievements, accomplishments that we have as objectives right now.
As for Bishop Philip Wright, president of the Belize Church Council of Churches, he expressed his perspective on the importance of maintaining open communication between religious institutions and the government. He highlighted that the discussion is part of a continuous effort to foster a constructive relationship between church and state.
We are committed to continuing to define the relationship between church and state, not only in education, which we have done a pretty good job, but in terms of social programs, in terms of activities and initiatives that can help to make a difference in the lives of our people. And so we are having this very fruitful conversation, I would say, in terms of how best to partner to make a difference in the lives of our people. And the minister and the government has also have committed to engage the church in this ongoing conversation that I think can bear very good fruit.
And there is more news after the break. Stay tuned.
Attention farmers! The New World screwworm is a serious threat to livestock, pets, wildlife, and humans. It causes yield losses, damages the quality of meat and skins, and can even kill them if left untreated. Check your animals daily. If you see any wounds on them, treat them immediately. Prevention is key. Apply approved healing and fly repellents to the navel of newborn animals after dehorning, ear tagging, or any other practice that leaves wounds on your animals to ensure your animals' well-being. If you notice worms in unusual wounds, report them immediately. Call Baha at 824-4872 or text or WhatsApp 670-7003 or call your nearest Ministry of Agriculture office. And don't forget, never transport or receive animals with injuries. Together, we will prevent the spread of this dangerous disease. This message was brought to you by Baha, OIRSA, AICA, USDA, and the Ministry of Agriculture, Food Security, and Enterprise.
Get the most out of your internet with Centaur's ExpressNet. Are you ready to supercharge your online experience? When connecting to your Velo Mesh device, make sure you're linked to our blazing fast 5 GHz frequency. Why 5 GHz? Faster speeds at a shorter range. 5 GHz is perfect for use in smaller spaces where speed is your top priority. As for the 2.4 GHz, while connection may travel farther, it can lead to slower performance. Remember, choose 5 gigahertz for your devices and experience the difference instantly. ExpressNet, bringing you the best speeds for the ultimate online experience. For more information, contact us at 380-0101.
Welcome to Design Depot, where you'll find premium quality products from trusted brands, all in one place. Visit us today for quality products, expert service, and the brands you trust. Design Depot, all in one place.
Oh man, one more scroll and my data is done.
Wait, who said anything about running out? Smart just dropped a more powerful plan that now includes social media data, so you can scroll till your fingers cramp.
Enjoy free social media data now included in our Flex Choice and Select postpaid plans.
Visit any Smart showroom to sign up today because connectivity just got even better. Smart, bringing people together.
Belizean conservationist Jamal Galvez, affectionately known as the Manatee Man, will be honored with the Wildlife Rescue Award by the International Fund for Animal Welfare, IFAW, in recognition of his dedicated efforts to safeguard endangered manatees and marine wildlife. Galvez will receive the award on October 16th in London. Hailing from Gales Point, Galvez began his journey in marine conservation at the young age of 11, volunteering alongside renowned marine biologist Dr. James Buddy Powell. Dr. Powell served as his mentor until his recent passing. Today, Galvez holds the position of Belize Program Coordinator at the Clearwater Marine Aquarium Research Institute, where he oversees the country's Marine Standing Response Network. Throughout his career, Galvez has trained over 3,000 boat captains and tour guides, contributed significant research on manatees, and played a pivotal role in establishing Belize's first marine life rescue and education center. As Dean Downs, president of IFAW, praised Galvez's unwavering dedication, stating that his work truly exemplifies the spirit of wildlife rescue. During the award ceremony, he accepted the honor in memory of Dr. Powell, emphasizing that the recognition strengthens his resolve to protect Belize's vital marine environments. On the margins of the 2025 World Bank and International Monetary Fund (IMF) annual meetings, the government of Belize signed a loan agreement with the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development to finance the upgrading of an 18-mile section of the George Price Highway between the city of Belmopan and La Democracia. The agreement, valued at $12.5 million, will support critical infrastructural enhancements to one of Belize's most important transportation corridors. The project includes the construction of new service lanes, the upgrading of existing bridges, and the addition of 16 bus stop lanes aimed at improving safety, accessibility, and connectivity for trade. This latest agreement further strengthens the long-standing partnership between Belize and the state of Kuwait, which dates back to the 1990s. Over the years, the Kuwait Fund has supported several major infrastructure projects in Belize, including the development of a Southern Highway, the Hummingbird Highway, and the Caracal Road. Signing on behalf of the government of Belize was Joseph Waite, Financial Secretary and Head of Delegation to the 2025 World Bank IMF meetings, and Walid Al-Bahar, Acting Director General of the Kuwait Fund for Arab Economic Development. The government of Belize expressed its appreciation to the Kuwait Fund for its continued partnership and support towards advancing Belize's national infrastructure and sustainable development goals. And that's the news. We invite you to join us for another newscast on Wednesday, October 15th here on Ctv3 News and Fiesta FM 106.7. Remember that to read a text version of the news, you can visit our website at ctv3belizenews.com. You can also log on to our Facebook page for current stories at facebook.com/ctv3belizenews or our YouTube channel at Ctv3 News BZ. From all of us here at Ctv3, thank you for watching and listening. Good night.